Okay, gang. Let me know if that did anything. Okay, gang. Oh, let me know if that did it. Actually, I could hear it on here. Now is when I start singing. La la lady of Spain, I adore you. Oh, I can't sing the rest of that song, so I guess it is working now. I think Megan meant now is when I start singing is because no one would have to hear me. Um, but hopefully that fixed the issue, and we'll see what happens from there. You were watching and listening now, officially, to the Public John broadcast, which means earlier you didn't even hear that we had a musical intro. Oh man, that's depressing. Sorry, guys. Just when I thought everything was going to go well. The Public John is brought to you by Casper's Power Washing in South Jersey. Casper's Power Washing, excuse me, maybe I shouldn't have had sound there. Casper's Power Washing LLC, they will give you estimates anywhere from Cape May to Cherry Hill and even up into the Camden County area. It's a free estimate. And in 3-4 hours, they will have your house looking like it's a brand new house, if it's at all possible. Don't go get your house painted. Don't go get siding until you at least talk to Albert and the guys over at Casper's Power Washing. Their number is 856-297-2984. You can look up their Facebook page as well and check them out to make sure that you'll see pictures of before and after shots that are absolutely phenomenal. So you'll see the difference in houses, and I've seen their work, and it's really great. So give yourselves a shot to head over there and visit Albert Casper and Company. It's Casper's Power Washing. Get down with a ghost, baby. Casper's Power Washing in South Jersey. They'll give you a free estimate and let you know anything you need power washed, whether it's a deck, whether it's a house, a complete house. Your car, who knows? These guys will power wash anything. I think they power washed me one time, for crying out loud, and I probably needed it. So give yourselves a chance to get something cleaned up, maybe even save some money before you do. I see a few people have joined, and thank you guys, and thank you for putting up with the technical difficulties. I see Joe Dudek has joined, Megan Brennan, of course, Margie Holman's joined, Maddie Coughlin's joined. Also, thanks Cheryl Ian. Thanks you guys for the feedback on the sound. I think it's Joe. What are we up to? About 100 shows in a row now. I'm not even at 100 shows, but every single one has had some kind of a glitch. So one of these days, I mean, this one I started a couple things yesterday and worked off and on all day. But this time it was the sound. So and the video is not what I want, but we'll go from there. You can see I can move my feet around now. You can see my feet. That's great. I'm not wearing shoes. I'm shoeless today. Shoeless. I'm just shoeless. So, couple things of note. First off, it's been about 3 weeks, maybe a month, since the Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl. You know what? I'm still pretty jacked about it because I don't think it's a one-off. I think it's going to be. They've got a pretty good team, and I think they're going to hang around a while. So. Yep, Kansas City Chiefs are going to be around a while. They're going to be winners for a while. They're awesome. So here's the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl. I think it's been a month, a little over a month. But yeah, a little over a month. It was the second. That's right. Get used to it, Chiefs fans, because I think they're going to be winners for a long time. Here's to you. In honor of that, I decided I was going to go out and look for a new toy. So I did that with some friends this week and bought a new motorcycle, and pretty pumped about that. And the reason that fits in with Chiefs mode is it is red. But it is a red Harley, and it's pretty punk. And I'm pretty happy about it, and probably sometime this week or next week, depending on weather, I'll be flying around on 2 wheels. Probably more than I should, but I just don't care. So I'm going to go out and have a good time. So got a red Harley. That's cool, and can't wait to ride on that thing. Thanks for the comment, Margie. Yeah, the new studio, we're getting there. You can another subject you can see in the back. Yep, Scarlett. Yeah, Scarlett O'Harley. That's her name. She's awesome. So you can see in the background today. You see the orange jersey with a number 8. I have some hats here. You can probably see them right now. I'm looking at the Philadelphia Flyers, wearing a Flyer shirt. And if you're not a hockey fan, but kind of a Philly sports fan, you got a team you can be very proud of right now in the National Hockey League. The Flyers have won 9 consecutive games. That's no ties. It's not just a quote-unquote unbeaten streak. It's very hard in the NHL to just flat out win 9 straight games, and they've done it. And now they've come from behind and tied for their division lead in the NHL for the playoffs. They didn't even haven't been very good the last few years. They've made a couple of changes and a new coach, and it's all starting to take effect. A new goalie, a young guy. He plays very well at home. Struggles a little on the road, but they're working around that as well. And new coach, new defensive system. Defense plays very well. The NHL still isn't like the old days when it was the Broad Street Bullies. Hence number 8 there, the incredible Dave Schultz, the Hammer. Dave Schultz. Can't forget him. My buddy Billy got me that, and it was like one of the best gifts I ever got. Thank you, buddy. Pablo joined. Hey, Pablo, what's going on, man? Pablo's the man. I don't care what anybody says. No, Pablo's the man. Seriously, he's a good guy. Thanks, Pablo, for tuning in. So, and I saw some depressing news this week. There's a hockey team I wanted to watch. I don't know, maybe we can still get there before the end of the season. In Topeka, minor league hockey team that's owned by the same guy that owns the Chiefs, Mr. Hunt. But they're moving the hockey team to Kansas City. Well, Topeka is a little closer to where I live. So it was like, I was like, yeah, maybe we'll get there. So I got to look and see how much longer their season is, because maybe we'll have to figure out a way to go up and watch them, because this is their last season in Topeka. We found out next season they're going to Kansas City. And I imagine that's a closer deal for Mr. Hunt, and he probably thinks they're going to get more fans there. You got to do what you got to do to keep the team going. But it's a shame, because I was really hoping to see that hockey team within the next year or two. And still, I don't have a problem going to Kansas City either, so it's not a major issue. But it just would have been nicer, I think, if we could have done that. But we'll go from there. But the Flyers are playing very well. They're, like I said, they're tied for the top of their division. If they keep playing this well, they're going to do some real damage, and you never know, might even they'll get into the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's a matter of how well they do. But either way, it's a great improvement, and they're exciting and fun to watch. So that's one of the sports things going on. But the big couple of things were the Flyers, the Chiefs. Kansas State isn't the NCAA basketball selection show is next week. Kansas State's not even in the running this year. They're not doing very well. University of Kansas is, and of course one of my favorite teams is Villanova University in Philly. They're doing okay. They're not as good as they have been the last few years, but they'll be in the tournament, and anything can happen once you get in a tournament. You know that, folks. So, anything you guys want to talk about or bring up, you certainly can. That's what this show is supposed to be all about, is letting you guys, the public, air questions and discussion and things like that. I will do a movie review, maybe even 2. And we'll go from there and see what you guys think. Hopefully, that was your homework assignment, is that you guys did watch Knives Out, which was the homework assignment, kind of. I don't know if you're going to call it a homework assignment, but that's what we're going to review. That's the main review today, and there's another movie or 2 actually that I've watched. I don't know if we'll discuss them all today, but we will discuss Knives Out in just a couple minutes. It'll be a lot of fun. I've gotten some questions and some messages and things asking, and people surprised that I came out here. I'll go over it again. One, real brief one. I have friends out here that I really did miss and really did like when I lived out here about 10 or 12 years ago. And I lived out here for a few years, and some people I really care about. I miss them. It's also because of I'm still deciding whether to stay retired or just be unemployed for a little bit. It's nice not to have to go back to that, but since my job was eliminated, I was bought out, and I've been able to move on, so I don't have any major issues there. And there's also a strong support system for some health issues I've had, and I've been told to relax just try to do some things, with a lot less stress. So that's kind of what I've done, and I'll tell you what, I feel way, way better out here. And it's nothing personal against anybody, anywhere. I think it's more lifestyle than anything else. And I've cut back on some things. But I am getting ready to start some things up. It's Showtime TV show, I guess you'd call it TV. It's digital, really. That's going to be, is in the midst of getting some things produced and is going to run digitally, probably on YouTube with some things sent over to Facebook. But you can always look up the Public John Network, or it's Showtime with John Harris, to see some of the shows that I did when I was in South Jersey for Quinn Broadcasting. That was great. It was a lot of fun. Also, just relaxing. But I think I'm getting ready to go out a couple local places and throw some jokes up against the wall, see what sticks. Like linguine, if it's a little stiff and doesn't do much, it's but you never know. If you cook it just enough, then maybe it'll work. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm going to give that a shot. And hey, Slacky from Atlantic City, baby, what's going on in the Big Ten? What's going on in AC? I hope you're having fun down there. I don't know what the weather's like down there. It's been great here, just a little breezy, which you would expect in Kansas, but the sun's been out. It's been in the 60s. I think we're getting rain tomorrow, but the weather overall has been really nice, especially for March, and February. So it's been great. I'm having a good time. Thanks to those that have asked. To those that haven't, I don't really care. You don't care, I don't care. It's a beautiful thing. Jeannie, hi Jeannie, how you doing? So I'm drinking to a few things. I'm drinking to my new bike. I'm drinking to a kind of a start in life. When you get to a certain age, it's almost like it's different lifetimes, and I think that's where we're at. So Liz Badalini joined. Hi Liz, how you doing? I'm gonna get ready to do some things, have some fun. It's gonna be a great time. Start doing some local stuff. Start filming some things for the digital TV show that's gonna come out, and go from there. I want to thank everybody that is signing on, all the people that are supporting. Hey, I guess I should say it like you did. Hey, what's going on? I don't know. Is that Italian? Hey, how you doing? But it's great to see you guys are still interested. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Plugging away here. This show is not going to always be me sitting here just talking to you. We're getting ready to do some things, visit some places, go on the road, take this thing on the road a little bit, either with some businesses or just some places where we're going to have some fun. Got a couple ideas lined up, a couple places that have actually said yes, and we're going to go there and film and record some things, or go live. Haven't determined that yet, so it's not going to always be every Sunday night. It's not going to always be me sitting behind this desk. It's kind of cool though to be able to say I'm sitting behind a desk at my own place. The commute was terrible. I had to get up from the couch, make sure I didn't bump into a wall, which is a lot harder than most of you guys think for me, and especially even sober. So at this point, when they say if you drink you walk into walls and you stagger and all that, I do that without drinking. So I gave up the not drinking part, I think, a little bit, because it's going to happen anyway. So what the hell? Why refrain, as they say? So I'm glad you guys are tuning in. I know it probably sounds like I'm rambling a little bit. Probably going a little bit, really. But I'm upset we didn't have the musical intro. Didn't work for you, but we'll have that again next week. We'll try it again and go from there. Let's see. I don't know if we're going to go for a full hour, because it's not. If it's not exciting for me, I know it's definitely not exciting for you. So we'll go from there. Let's see. I'm looking at a couple of things here. A couple people have joined in. Maddie, you got any breaking balls news updates? If you do, let me know. It'd be okay for you to chime in with one if you got something. So let's go ahead and start with the first movie review. this one is Knives Out, which I did say, hey, if you guys wanted to watch that, it'd be great. We'd have something to discuss. But like I said, anything you want to bring up, whether it's a book, a movie, a TV show, something on Netflix, Amazon, or some other show, or something you want to talk about, please feel free. Or we can always pose a question, take a little poll. Might try and do something like that. We did that a few times, I think. When I was in Jersey, we did that with various guests. Who was your favorite male cartoon character? Who was your favorite female cartoon character? Or sexiest, I should say. Who was the sexiest one? But we might pose some questions like that and see what you guys think about silly things like that, just to get us all involved and start a little thing. This week's movie was Knives Out, and it is out on video, on demand. I'm not sure if it's anywhere else yet, but it is available to see. I just watched it the other day, not in the theater, and but at home. But I watched it here in the Public John Entertainment Complex. So it's big screen TV with a very good sound system, and it was so it was, and reclining seats, and was able to do some munchies. So you can't go wrong with that. It was IMAX, but it was my IMAX, so it was my Max. But it was home, and got to watch that here at the Public John Entertainment Complex and Media Center. So it was a lot of fun. So it's a couple of points. The story gets a little predictable, but I think the movie, it's great casting. The story, I guess it's a little predictable, but there's some great lines in it, and a little bit of action too, and some suspense toward the beginning. So, and you do have a character or two that you're rooting for. So, not a bad movie. It was pretty good. Out of the 5 fingers of the Public John hand, I will give you. I'll give it about 3.5, maybe 4. Well, we can say 4. It was fast-paced. It was pretty good. It didn't seem long at all. All of a sudden, you're like, wow, this is almost the end. So that's a good sign for any movie, especially for me. I thought it was pretty good. I'm not going to go into the story too much because you really can't. It's the kind of movie where if you go into the story, you're giving away the plot. So can't really go into the story too much on Knives Out, except to say that it's got a pretty good story. So if you get a chance to watch it, definitely recommend it. I probably liked Once Upon a Time in Hollywood a little bit better. We talked about that one last week, but this is worth it. This is worth whatever you're going to pay to see it. And even though sometimes you don't necessarily need, it's not an action-packed movie, I'd still recommend seeing it in a bigger screen because there's some stuff to do if you can. But even if you can't, it's still a good movie to watch. I see John Thompson join. John, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for all your help with the bike, and I'll be picking her up probably this week. And then you guys can start the Vegas clock on when's the first time he's going to drop it, when's the first time he's going to crash, and then and how bad. So Vegas will put some over/under odds out probably on that, and it's a matter of will he make it home, will he not make it home, will he ride around, what do we do? So that could be fun to say, when's he going to crack up this bike? So that'll be fun. And I might even put some money on that. Problem is, I don't think Vegas will let me put the money on it. I think they'll think it's rigged or something like that. So. It's like when Pete Rose said he bet on baseball, but he only bet on it for his team when they weren't that good a team. I don't think there's any way to prove that. So, sorry, Pete. I like you, but that part of the story just doesn't hold water. It's a little tough, even if you're telling the truth. Tough for baseball to go, betting on your own games, that's a little rough. So, we've got that. So, thanks, John. The movie, oh, no, you just kicked over Scarlett? Kicked over as in kicked it to the ground, or kicked it as in starting it up? Don't hurt Scarlett, all right? Because she's going to have a fat ass sitting on her a little too often. So she doesn't need more pain. So, but, and it's funny because it's not an overly sized bike, so when you put it against a nice bike, I shouldn't say nice bike because it's a nice bike. When you put it against another Harley, like John's got a really nice Harley, put it against that one, and it looks like it's a junior or like John Spike's daughter or something. It's like not quite as big and not quite as loud, but it's in good shape. Got a good deal on it, and it's great. So dropped it to the ground. Okay. Okay. Well, at least we got that cleared up. No problem. You know what the cool part is? I already have it insured, so it's not yours now. So why not, right? If it's in the way of your bike, it's like just kick it out of the way, just nudge it. It'll go. It's insured, so hopefully, if you did damage it, you damaged it enough to make it worth more. Make it more than $500, please, John. It's a $500 deductible. So please, I don't want the little lizard thing coming over, reptile thing going. Oh, I don't think there's quite enough damage, sir. I don't want none of that. So please mess it up pretty good then. So it can either get fixed or replaced. Yeah, I like it, John's like, it's not mine. It's just in my way, right? So we've got that going against us. Hey, listen, folks, Knives Out, recommend it. Go see it. Jamie Lee Curtis is really good in it, and a couple other people are very good. Michael Shannon plays a good part. He usually plays a macho, manly part. In this one, he's kind of wimpy. I'll give you that. The girl in it's very good. I don't remember her name, and I feel bad about that. But she's very good. And there's a couple other people. Chris Evans is in it, and he plays a pretty good weasel. Don Johnson's in it, and he's a bit of a weasel. So you have some things there that make the movie entertaining. So, oh, John's just kidding. Dang it, I thought I was getting an even newer bike out of it, John. But the movie's a lot of fun, so I recommend seeing it. That's Knives Out. It's new, but it is out on Redbox. It should be on demand, and it might even be on Netflix. I'm not sure. You can check that where it's able to be found. And I know Redbox is available online as well, a streaming service. So you might want to check that out. But it is a good movie. I would say check it out. That's Knives Out. A lot of fun, but like I said, I can't tell you too much about it because it'll give away the plot, and it is a bit of a mystery. So I don't want to do that, except to tell you that at one point it's the same old thing as Clue. In a way, everybody's a suspect. Daniel Craig, by the way, is great in this movie, and he has a southern drawl in this movie. That's his accent. You've got to hear it. So that's almost worth it as well. So if you get a chance, go watch Knives Out. You'll like it. Hi, Sean. Hi, Frank. I see you guys are watching that. Margie, I think actually that's Amazon that has that. I did see that. And it's actually called Hunters. It is good. I saw it. It's a good series. Hunters. Al Pacino's in it. Saul Rubinek's in it. Carol Kane is in it. It's a really good movie, and a few other people that you'll recognize, and some new people that you won't. Very well written, and again, that's another. Except to say that it's Nazi hunters, and there's some background involved. We can't really go into too much either because there's a twist in that, a couple of twists, and the ending is a big twist. So can't give that away at all. That you don't really see coming, I don't think. If you think about it, it might not surprise you, but it actually, in the end, it does. So, yeah, you get a chance. That's not a bad thing to go see. It's called The Hunters, or not even it's just Hunter on Amazon. Actually, it's Amazon Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, it's not going to cost you anything. It is a good show. It's only one season. I think it's like 10 episodes or something, but it is pretty good. I see Sean Ireland joined, Frank Thon joined. How you guys doing? Nice to hear from you guys. So yeah, you get a chance. Knives Out, good movie. I'll have to decide what. I know. I've already seen it, so I'm not gonna review it. But if you guys saw the first Zombieland with Woody Harrelson and Emma Stone. Jesse Eisenberg. It's really a good movie. If you like, if you're into zombies, it's a lot of funny lines in it. Yeah, it's gory. It's a zombie movie, hence the name. But some other twists and turns too as well. It doesn't take itself too seriously. That's what I really like. So if you get a chance, folks, I would say watch the first Zombieland, which is basically these people just going from place to place, killing zombies that get in their way, and trying to find a place where they can be safe and all that stuff. But there's a lot of good dialogue in it, some witty stuff, some funny stuff, and of course it's zombies again. There is a part in it, not a starring part, but more than a cameo. It's a small part by Bill Murray, and it is hysterical. You've got to see it. If you get a chance, you've got to see, if for nothing else, the Bill Murray part in Zombieland 1 makes a reappearance at the end of Zombieland 2. Bill Murray does, as himself. So that's the good part. It's as himself. He's not playing a different type of character. So it's really neat. I'm not going to review Zombieland 2 yet till next week to give you guys a chance maybe to see it, and maybe we can discuss it a little bit. Zombieland 2 Double Tap, it's called. And if you watch number 1 or have seen it, then you'll know what double tap means. If not, it becomes evident in the movie anyway. You don't necessarily have to watch number 1 to watch the second one, but only because I recommend it, I would say watch it. It's a lot of fun. There's some action in it, and it has everything. This isn't The Mandalorian. All right, so tell me, anybody that has seen that, is that any good? Kyle, tell me, is that good? Did you actually get? Is it Apple TV that has that one? I hear it's really good. Or is it Disney? Might be a Disney thing, because on Disney Plus it's there. But you're right. Nope, not The Mandalorian. As you can see, a lot less action than you probably would see in The Mandalorian. So, and The Mandalorian's probably wearing shoes. I've decided to go shoeless tonight. We're gonna go that route. But nope. But thanks for tuning in, Kyle. I do appreciate it. Kyle has a podcast too. If you're still listening, why don't you give us the name of your podcast? Let people listen to it. It's about nutrition and about fitness, and let me tell you something. It's very informative. It's not a discussion that's over top of your head. Disney Plus. Yep. That's what I thought. Disney owns everything Star Wars now. Actually, they almost own everything. But it looks pretty good. I haven't gotten Disney Plus yet, so I haven't watched it yet. So you can tell me if it's worth getting Disney Plus to watch The Mandalorian, because I know it has all the Disney movies and Star Wars stuff. The Optimal Human Podcast. There you go. And that's on iTunes, folks. I don't know if it's on Google Play. It's definitely on iTunes, because I've listened to it. The Optimal Human Podcast. And guys, let me tell you something. Kyle and his buddy really are experts at this stuff. They've got degrees in it. They teach it academically at universities. But the key is they don't talk over your head. I mean, I can actually understand what they're talking about. And I will say a couple things I've tried to do, and I do feel better when I do them. So it's a matter of sticking with what you're supposed to do. But they do make it. There it is. iTunes, Google Play, and Spotify, just like this show, except that one you want to listen to. So, and it is. It's really interesting. The guys have a good time talking about this stuff, but they make it so it's understandable, and they'll answer your questions. They'll tell you what's good for you, what's bad for you, if you have any issues. I remember one thing we did, or they did, I should say we. Kyle was actually a guest on one of the first podcasts. I went out to see him in Arizona, and one of the things he talked about, and they talked about it, I think, again on their podcast, was what to do like with the holidays. I mean, how to get through it without putting on 10, 15, 20 pounds, which some people do from Thanksgiving on, because you've got Thanksgiving, you've got Christmas, and of course all the meals in between and afterwards. And how tryptophan from turkey affects the body. And a lot of people eat turkey on Thanksgiving and then they have it again on Christmas. So, but it's not just the turkey; it's all the sweets and the desserts and alcohol, and how to and they've discussed that quite a bit, is what alcohol does to your body, to your system, and what to do, try and do about that. And they're realistic. The guys are realistic because they know you're not going to stop everything. I've stopped very little. I do on occasion. I try to go through some things and stop some things, which I've had to do. And having to do that, I have felt better. So, but the Optimal Human Podcast, it's on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify. I can't recommend it enough, guys. It's available everywhere that podcasts are listened to, pretty much. They're the big three right there. So you get a chance to listen to them. Like I said, they don't talk over your head, and that's the key, because some of these things, they'll talk over your head, or they talk to a private audience, and these guys will talk to you like you're sitting at the dining room table with them or something, and say, hey, here's what and if you ask the question, they'll get you the answer. So Optimal Human Podcast, you can subscribe to it on iTunes, Google Play, or Spotify. So get that in there. So it's cool. Thanks, Kyle, for buzzing in. And Disney Plus, I might have to actually look at it now and see. Maybe I'll check it out on a free trial and stream the heck out of The Mandalorian. But I heard it's pretty good. I heard it's really good. If you're a Star Wars fan at all, even a mild one, I hear it's really good and you'll like it. So there you go. That's a half recommendation. I haven't seen it yet, but I will say that reputation-wise, it's supposed to be pretty good. Like I said, Knives Out. Make sure you get a chance, go see it. Or, well, you don't have to go see it, go get it. Or don't go anywhere. Sit on your couch and press a couple buttons and it'll be there. So do that. Look for me in your neighborhood, or pictures of me running into things on my new Harley, which will be going back out on the road this week. It's going to be a lot of fun. Recommend on my own Zombieland Double Tap, Zombieland 2. Actually, if you haven't seen the first one, rent that, or it's on Netflix, I think. You can watch it there. And then, of course, got the second one. Again, available Redbox, on demand. If you have Roku, things like that, it's out there. I recommend both of them. And you don't have to watch one to watch two, but if you get a chance, why not? Margie Hellman was right about The Hunters. It's on Amazon Prime, however, but it is a good show. Al Pacino's in it. He plays a great part, as well as some other cast members. Let's see, is there anything else? Oh, there's something I'm going to bring up, guys. And if anybody else has had this kind of experience, let me know. But I'm going to tell you something. I bought something, a couple items, from Overstock.com. From Overstock. Went online, bought them. Both came the same day. Took the first one apart, and it had more directions than a bad highway, with many exits. Took me forever to put it together, and the quality of it was poor. It was nowhere near as described, and it's really difficult for me at this point to physically to use my arms enough to put stuff together due to some medical stuff. So anything that's prolonged is a little tough to deal with. So I kind of had to do it almost in installments time-wise. But the other thing about it was it wasn't great quality. But like a Nimrod, I'd thrown the boxes away. The directions were okay. Made a couple adjustments, quote unquote, and I'm not using it for its intended use, just using it to hold something, and it's fine. In that capacity, but it wasn't the capacity of, it was a coffee table, and it was nowhere near the quality of what I would use it for as a coffee table in the living room. And it was particle board, which of course that wasn't mentioned either. So that's one thing, to always be wary of what you buy online. That has to do with clothing for sizes. Do the research there. But even Overstock or somewhere like that, my recommendation is if it's furniture or something like that, maybe not buy it there. And I don't mean just there, I mean anywhere that's online. Because getting something and then getting it can be a hassle. The second thing, I'm like, way too many. I'd still be working on it, and I ordered it a week. I had it for a week and a half from the same place, and that was supposedly an end table. It was the same kind of a thing. The quality wasn't great. A zillion parts to it. Directions that would have taken days for me to put this together, and it just wasn't going to be worth it when I was done. So I went online to fill out the thing to return it. And they wanted to charge me for returning. Now you see that every so often with a stock fee to restock, which is usually a small fee. Well, this one was about a third of the price, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not happy with this thing. Why am I going to pay? Cody Road. It's Cody, and Cody, you're right. I've seen some people that should not be health inspectors. He's got a great thing about that. If you work in the food industry, you probably know a little about when somebody's a health inspector. It seems, but I'm not going to give away Cody's stuff. So, but you get a chance to look on Cody Ray Facebook, especially if you're in Jersey, you can go see where he's playing, and you get a chance to see him. That'd be great. Next week we're going to hook the phone back up. So if people like Cody, some other comics, or any of you guys want to call in during the show, that'd be great. Bring up anything. But we've got a few more minutes before we sign this puppy out. So I just want to say thanks, Cody, and spread the word if you want. Because if I don't go on locations, which is going to start pretty soon, then I'm going to try to have the phone and have some of you guys call in. That'd be great. To get a different type of interaction. It's great you guys sign on, but let me know what you're thinking, what you want to talk about. If you have any questions, anything like that. A couple people have tonight, and that's great. So I want to talk a minute about a business in Manhattan, Kansas here, which is the home of Kansas State University. There we go. You probably see that right there. Kansas State University, the Wildcats, who I've been a fan of for a while. Basketball team's going to suffer a little bit this year, but the football team's gotten a little better. And we'll see what happens to the basketball team pretty soon. They'll get better. It just takes a while. Ebb and flows in NCAA especially. But there's a business here in Manhattan that you guys should check out if you're around here, or even in Jersey, because they'll ship to you at a great price. Is Kansas Discount Nutrition. Ask for my friend Lucas Woods, a great young guy. They have their own website, kansasdiscountnutrition.com, and you can ask them, hey, what would be good for this, or I'm doing this, what would be good for that? Lucas is actually a bodybuilder who enters competitions and everything like that, so he knows his stuff. And they know, and the other part, him and I were talking about, I guess, grammatically, about a lot of things, and one of the things I noticed that he knew about were people that look for, if you've got a bariatric issue or you're going to have a bariatric surgery, they tell you that you need certain liquids to keep your protein levels up after you have that, because you're on a liquid diet for a while, a little bit, just until everything heals. Short period of time. But you might want to look at something called Isopure. Well, Lucas can tell you what it does for you, go into the specifics of it, and let you know that it's a high protein drink, but yet it doesn't taste bad at all. Actually, there's different flavors. And like I said, Lucas can ship that stuff to you as well if you have trouble finding it, or he can give you a great price. It's Kansas Discount Nutrition. They have a Facebook page as well, and they are at 501 North 3rd Street in Manhattan, Kansas, which isn't far from here. So make sure you check out Lucas. It's Lucas Woods, all the folks over at Kansas Discount Nutrition. It's a great place, and visit their website at kansasdiscountnutrition.com. You can also reach them by phone at 785-587-9600. They're just getting started. They're going to have a grand opening. They may have even had it, but they're going to keep grand opening prices and things intact for certain things. So if you get a chance, it's Kansas Discount Nutrition. 501 North 3rd Street in Manhattan, Kansas, or go on the website, Kansas Nutrition, discountnutrition.com, all one word, and check them out. So they're a great little company, and he's getting started. It's a big part of a bigger franchise, one of the biggest franchises for nutrition in the country. So give them a shout out. And Lucas can answer any questions, and if you need anything, can steer you in the right direction and get you something reasonably priced so it doesn't break the bank. But yeah, you'll feel better about yourself. So the overstock thing, I can't express it enough. It's the same with everything. Overstock's not the only one. I've gotten things from Amazon. I've gotten other things. The thing about overstock was the return policy was a little rough. But so I always recommend call them. Don't just automatically click on the thing and print a label that's going to cost you money. Like in this case, I called Overstock. Once I got a hold of somebody, they were very fair, took care of it, and I didn't have to pay for the returns. So that was great. And they understood. My problem is obviously you don't know what you're getting until you get it when you go online and get something. So be afraid of that. Be weary. Be leery of it. Be wary of it. I'm weary of it actually. Be wary of it. Do the research. Check it out. Maybe call them and say, hey, is this real wood? Is this real this? If this is real that? And if they can't give you an answer to that, then to me, I would just like not order it. I wouldn't get it. I'd look around. I gotta be honest, I've been happy with some things I bought since I came out here by going to the store. And sometimes it does cost a few bucks more, but I'm happier to get it and get the quality and sometimes get it delivered than I am anything else. So, I'm assured, I rest easy, I get it, and I've got it. So, Jim Comas is joined from the Veterans United Military Memorial Museum. All is well, Jim. Thank you very much for asking, and hope everything's okay there with you, with the museum, with everybody. Tell the missus I said hello, and all those folks there. They have a Facebook page, VUMMM, which again stands for Veteran United Military Memorial Museum, and they will have a fundraiser coming up soon out there in South Jersey in New Gretna, near where the museum is. A lot of artifacts, a lot of everything from messages to letters to some weapons that have been used from wars from this country all the way up to the present day conflicts. I believe from World War I, if I'm not mistaken, Jim. If I am, correct me on that. But I believe from everything, not everything, but they have all kinds of artifacts from World War I all the way up to the present day conflicts in Afghanistan and overseas. They will have probably a fundraiser because they're a non-profit. They don't get supported by taxpayer money or anything. So I know we've done, I don't know if it was 2 or 3, Jim, but we did some shows out there, and I brought some comedians out of the goodness of their heart who played to raise some money. Right now they're in New Gretna, like I said. They're in donated, the museum is in donated mobile homes that were construction mobile homes, but do a great job with it. It looks great. And they'll go to places like schools and churches and social functions, trade shows, whatever they can get into, to let people know about these things, and they bring some stuff with them. Jim and some other folks with him are very knowledgeable about all these conflicts and their origins and different battles and everything. So it's a big piece of history from our country that a lot of people don't necessarily focus on very much. We have a lot of people who've made sacrifices. They've lost their lives, they've lost families, they've lost health. And of course even the sacrifice of time away from your family, time away from your life is something. So you get a chance, that's the Veterans United Military Memorial Museum, VUMMM. They have a Facebook page. Check them out, and please, if you're down that way, please support them any way you can, whether it's a donation or if you're down there and you want to go to the fundraiser. Usually there's either a 50-50 or a silent auction of some kind. So go down there and check them out. I think we're going to get ready to wrap this up pretty much. Like I said, if you guys have something you want to talk or gripe about, please feel free. As of right now, I think we're going to be on again the same time next week. But then after that, I think we're going to start heading out to some places and go live at different times and all, and you guys will have some notice as to where and when those places will be and how much fun we're going to try to have doing that. I think I am going to wrap it up unless you guys have something you want to add to this thing. Like I said, check out Zombieland 2, Double Tap. If you haven't seen the first one, go see that one. But you don't necessarily have to see the first one. The big review was Knives Out. Great movie. I can't say much about the plot or anything because it would give it away. It is a quote-unquote thriller. It's suspenseful. Daniel Craig's Southern drawl is absolutely great. You can tell he worked on it. A couple of other people give great performances. So out of the 5 fingers that's wrapping around the microphone on the Public John here, I'll give we're going to give 4. So I got that 4 there. Take that, have some fun with that. Knives Out, also Zombieland 2. One of our listeners / viewers recommended The Hunters on it's on Amazon Prime, which I did see it, and it's a very good show. Can't give away much about that except it is a team of people hunting surviving Nazis in the late 60s to mid 70s, I believe, that time frame, when there were some older Nazis still supposedly around, and there were actually some that were found. Not a bad show either. So like I said, anything you guys want to talk about next week, we'll be here. Got a couple more additions maybe to the old podcast studio to try to get it up and 100%. As you can see, we're on a portrait thing here tonight, so that didn't go like planned. But we do have new lighting. Had an audio glitch, got around that for now, but I don't understand what the story is with that. We'll have to check on that. But thank you folks who tuned in the beginning to get through that. Thank you folks that have stuck around to the end. I do want to give a shout out to Joe Dudek and John Thompson for helping me, and Cecilia, I can't remember Cecilia, the lady that sold me the bike. Real nice lady. I want to thank her for selling me the bike. It's awesome. And those folks this past week for helping with some things. Again, Casper's Power Washing, give them a call at 856-297-2984 if you're in South Jersey. They'll give you a free estimate. Go check them out. They also have a Facebook page. Get Down with the Ghost, that's Casper's Power Washing. Also, Kansas Discount Nutrition, Lucas Woods, go see him in Manhattan, 501 North 3rd Street. Or he's worldwide. You can contact him at kansasdiscountnutrition.com. Also, they also have a Facebook page as well. My compadre, Kyle Thompson with the Optimal Human Podcast. Check him out. Podcasts that you can get just about everywhere they have them. iTunes, Spotify, Google Play. Check that out. You'll enjoy that show. They have a little fun. They start off with a little music. But also they don't talk over your head. It's great information that we should all have. Cody Wright, thank you for joining, and all you folks that have, and I appreciate it. It's a lot of fun. We're gonna try and do some things. Jeannie and Liz, who I worked with years ago, thank you. Slatky, who I worked with, Slatker in Atlantic City. Pablo joined. Megan knows all about Scarlet. And thanks, Meg, for tuning in. I know you're probably working or wiped from working. So thank you for liking the new studio. That's Dave the Hammer Schultz here behind me. So for Dave the Hammer Schultz and the Philadelphia Flyers are on a 9-game winning streak. Remember, folks, you live one day at a time. So today was just another day. Tomorrow is going to be even better. The Public John, thanks folks for tuning in. We will talk to you next week, 7 Central, 8 Pacific. Jeez, too many commercials in life. 7 Central, 8 Eastern will be on. Here's to you guys. We'll see you next week. Yes, I have to leave the camera and I still have to do it this way, but why not? So that's it for the Public John. Have a good week, folks.